As you can see, thousands of people are already waiting at the door for those doors to actually open and then for to be unleashed upon Spiel. So I think I better get out of the way before they actually run me over. Welcome to GMS Magazine at Spiel 2015. One has to think very, very carefully if one's going to make a gimmick to make sure that the gimmick is actually going to work and it makes sense. And you know, with Burger Boss, it really does, because to have that as the box for the game is insanely cool and amazing. And it works so well.
You are right. To do a gimmick, we didn't want to just do a gimmick and just have a fancy box. We actually wanted it to fit with the theme, but also be useful for players. Because there's no point having a fancy box if it's no use within the game. So in Burger Boss, we wanted to create a family-friendly game, a very light Euro strategy game which gets new people into the hobby, but also has something for more experienced gamers. Something with a nice theme, and we think restaurants and selling burgers is cool. I mean, everyone likes a burger, right? Even if you're vegetarian, we have vegetarian options in the game. And what better way to house everything but inside a burger box? Now, the box itself is actually useful, as you mentioned, because not only do all the components come inside the box, but actually each tray separates all the components so you can play the game really quickly. You take out this component, and that holds all your dice. Take out the middle section, that's all your money. And then the bottom section is all the cards that you lay out for the game. The other great thing with having a plastic box for the game, you lock it, throw it in your bag, all the components are safe. And it makes people really hungry as well. So yeah, that's the other bonus of having it.
Now, that is a very risky strategy to go for a box like that. And it has worked. How did you guys go about it?
Well, we were in two minds, and actually when we were designing it, we did have mixed feedback, which was surprising. People who loved the idea and loved the theme were going mad for it. They said, fantastic, the burger idea works so well. Other people who said, you know what, I'm going to have difficulty storing this in my home. How do I stack this with my other products? We understand that, and that's why the game also comes with a more standard outer shell. So you do have a standard cube box, but the idea of this is that it's more transport friendly. And also it's really fun. I mean, people look at it on the table and they're drawn to it, which that is really what we wanted with getting new gamers into the hobby. They look at it, they think, oh, I instantly know what this game's about. This game's about burgers. And then when you actually play the game, you realize, wow, there's a lot of strategy to it. And actually, as well as it being a nice light Euro, about round 3, when people realize they can manipulate turn order and actually block other people, then becomes quite cutthroat, which is quite nice. I mean, the burger chain restaurants are all trying to fight for the same customers in the game. So it can be played as a very friendly family game, or it can be really quite vicious if you play with more people who steal ingredients or steal other customers from you.
Okay, let's go through the game very quickly. Tell me, what are the basic mechanics of Burger Boss?
Yeah, so it's essentially a worker placement game, whereas in the game, our workers are our dice. At the beginning of the round, everyone takes their dice and rolls them. Depending on the number you roll will dictate where you can put them on the board. And the board is really the cards laid out on the table. The main cards are your ingredient cards. So you have your meat and your bread, your vegetables, your tomatoes, and also things like cheese. Depending on the number you roll will dictate where you can put these dice to get you different ingredients. And that's the main part, that's the first part of the game. Once you have your ingredients, they are then put in your own restaurant, and you have a freezer section where you can store ingredients. You then decide when you want to cook. To cook, you put a worker in your restaurant and you start to assemble the ingredients on your grill. If you have a burger assembled on the grill, you can then sell it to customers. And the customers come each round, 2 new customers appear, which everyone can bid for. So it's a nice balance of using your dice to get ingredients or deciding when you use your dice to cook things, but also timing when you sell. Because there's actually a time limit for your ingredients on the grill. Each round, anything on the grill gets slightly more stale. Yeah. So you have 3 chances to sell. If you can't sell it in time, anything on the grill ends up in the bin and you get a little bit of money back, but actually you lose a lot of time doing that. So it's a bit of a penalty for not timing the cooking right, but it's not too harsh, because again, it's a family-friendly game. The other interesting thing about the game is the customers, as they are made to wait, they want to get a larger order. So they start with a regular order, which gives you an extra $1. Then they want to do a large order, which gives you $2 extra on whatever they've ordered. And then finally a super size, which gives you $3 extra. So you're sort of timing, if you have a burger ready to sell, you think, can I risk waiting for the customer to get hungrier to then make more money? Or is another player going to steal that customer before I do? And that leaves me with a burger which I can't sell, which ends up in the bin. So it's a nice timing mechanic as well with that.
Now, I was going to say the game, yes, it looks very friendly, but as you were saying earlier, we found at La Base Secreta Cafe that it can be very, very cutthroat, and people who want to play mean, there is plenty of meat in this game, pardon the pun, to play, to actually get into a really, really deep game.
And I think that's we've been trying it at Essen, and there's a moment where, the more hardcore gamers, the more experienced gamers, like I say, 3 rounds in, something clicks in their brain, and they realize, oh, I can be really mean in this game. And we allow that. And the game doesn't break by blocking other people off. So we feel that we've come across something which is quite rare. It's very family friendly, but you can have that cutthroat game if you want. We're looking at sort of future expansions where we can do the 2 different branches. One where it's focused more on the families, and again, it's very light. And then some little more strategy for even more cutthroat gaming, which we're looking forward to.
How long does the game take to play with the 4 players?
So 4 players, we're looking at around 40 minutes. So it's well under the hour. It depends on your gaming group, but we find once you know the rules, around 40 to 45 minutes is your average game. With 5 players, although you're having the extra player and the extra time taken to go around, the time is still around the same because you're selling more burgers, which mean the customers run out quicker. 3-player games, perhaps a little longer, about 50 minutes. So it does, take well under the hour, we find.
Which is good enough for a quick game around the table.
And that's exactly what we designed the game for. We wanted, one of the 3 things we wanted. 1, is it family friendly and accessible for new gamers? 2, can it be played under an hour? And 3, is it visually appealing and with a nice theme that works? I think we've hit all 3 with Burger Boss.
By the way, how long has this game been in the making?
In various forms of prototype, we've had, I'd say, about a year and a half. So it's been a year of really refining it and lots of playtesting. And a little bit of a shout out to the Playtest UK guys in London. Lots of weeks of taking it there, rules getting torn apart, built again, and then slowly you see the improvement with the game. And the manufacture, because of the box, it's taken a bit longer than we were predicting. So it took about, say, 4 months manufacture, just getting all the pieces correct, getting the look right. And the box, actually, the plastic box was a little bit more complicated than the manufacturer initially thought, purely because it has to house an internal plastic component. So I'd say about a year and a half. And then we've got the expansion packs are, again, going to take another 6 months playtesting. So fingers crossed by next year we'll have at least 1 expansion pack, if not a few more ideas.
Fingers crossed. Indeed, my friend. Now, the game obviously is available here at Essen. What happens afterwards? Is it going into distribution? How can people buy it?
We're currently on sale across Europe on Amazon. So that's most Spain, Italy, Germany, France, and the UK. A number of retailers have taken copies from SN today, so your local game store will have copies. That's another thing that's really important for us, that you can get this in your local game store. We have not kickstarted it, so this is all sort of self-funded and also a business which we hope to grow. And we want to support local game stores because that's where we fell in love with the game and with gaming in general. In America, it's available on Fun Again, and it's also we have a distributor over in Canada. But again, we're in discussions with a few more to get it more global.
So basically, this is going to be hopefully everywhere.
Hopefully everywhere, exactly, yeah. And I hope, if you like the sound of Burger Boss and you want a game that is fairly light, something that you can play with friends and family, I think Burger Boss is for you.
You heard the man. I endorse that. You go for it and play this game, because seriously, if you give this to anyone for Christmas, you're going to look amazing. You are going to be the coolest person on the planet. So get that one, seriously. Thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.